Reality is fragile. Layers of code, history, and perception stitched together. But what happens when the seams split? When the forgotten signals resurface and the familiar becomes something else entirely? Welcome to Glitch Reality, where every story is a distortion, a crack in the system, a glimpse into what was never meant to be seen. Because sometimes the glitch is truth. Vivian was famous, not in the way her parents would understand. Not red carpets, not magazine covers. No, she was something bigger, something rarer, a digital goddess, the kind people whispered about in the darkness. Their eyes locked on glowing screens, in their bedrooms in the hums of night. For this story, we'll be calling her Vivi, and this is a story set in the modern age about the downfall of a once loved model due to AI. Welcome to Always Online. Vivi sat online, just like any other night, sitting there in her sultry positions with that ever-perfected smile. A soft chime wings through, a robotic voice reads message. 100 tokens from user, more of that smile. Vivi laughs, sweet and practiced, but never too much of the smile. She had perfected it. The laugh, the glance, the slow, deliberate movements, enough to keep them wanting, enough to keep them paying. The neon underworld of the streaming machine, and Vivi had mastered all the gears. She rustles in her chair, her silk robe brushing against her skin. Another chime, this time louder. 500 tokens from user, saying, "You're perfect." She smirked, tilting her head just slightly little to the left, letting her platinum blonde curl cascade over her shoulder. A moment of unscripted intimacy, rehearsed 1,000 times. Vivi says in a soft, warm, playful tone, "You're too sweet." The muted sound of a pop of champagne being opened, a distant laugh. Maddie and Sophie, voices came from a different monitor. "Vivi, you keep stacking up tits like that, you're going to be buying a second penthouse." Sophie says as well, "Or finally, you'll tell your parents what you do." Vivi in a mock horror tone, "And ruin the magic?" Absolutely not. That was their running joke. Vivi, the picture-perfect daughter, still playing the good girl act for her family. Her parents thought she didn't freelance marketing. They had no idea their little girl was one of the top-earning cam models in the country. If they ever found out, God, she didn't know what they'd think about it. She exhales deeply and leans back in her chair, spinning it slightly. The chair creaks, fingernails tapping against her deck. Maddie and Sophie were the only ones who really knew. They were a team, sisters in the digital age, each in the top 20 of their country's highest paid cam girls. They had each put their followings together, supported each other through all the trials, the rough nights, the creeps, and the occasional threats. Cha-ching, another tip, this one even louder. 1,000 tokens from user. "Marry me." Vivi chuckles and shakes her head. They weren't just entertainers, they were businesswomen. They knew the game and they played it well. While Vivi's online, she's on her phone, scrolling through, clicking through her earnings page, a soft hum of satisfaction. "Damn, 6 figures again this month." "Maddie, that's why you're the queen." The money flowed like a tide. Predictable, endless. Vivi had everything she wanted. A penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows, designer clothes she barely had time to wear, and weekend getaways she felt like she would never get to go on. But sometimes, late at night when the city was quiet and the screens were dark, a strange thought crept in. She had all of this, but did she really exist beyond the screen? While laying in bed, Vivi heard a slow, low electronic buzz, like the flicker on the monitor, just for a second. Vivi dismissed it, as she always dismissed it. After all, why question something that works? The money, the fame, the adoration, what more could she possibly want? Another chime. 5,000 tokens this time. Stay online for a little longer. She smirks, while laying in her bed now, reaching for a glass of wine. And besides, Vivi was always online. The steady hum of a high-end gaming PC can be heard, the soft clicks of keys, a faint bass line from a lo-fi playlist. Chill, hypnotic. Ice clinks against the glass. Vivi swirls the last of her wine. 2 days off. She never took breaks, but after another record-breaking weekend, Vivi decides to indulge. A weekend of no streams, no schedules, just her and the city. Still, old habits die hard. Even when she wasn't working, she checked her numbers, checked her messages. The grind didn't stop just because she did. She taps her phone lazily, and a soft ping, notifications are rolling in. And then there it was, her page. She was live. A slight pause. The background hum of the PC now seems louder, subtly warped, like a breath underneath it. But she hadn't gone live. The soft tap of her nails against the glass screen with a slow exhale. The hell? The sound of a soft rustle from the sheets as she sits up. The feed loaded instantly. A familiar room, a familiar figure. Her. The faint buzz of an active stream. Soft, indistinct messages rolling in from thousands of viewers. Vivi stared. It was an old stream. Had to be. She recognised the outfit, she recognised the setup. Something from a few months back maybe. But the UI said otherwise. It marked her as live. Now. Then it happens. A soft chime. Donations rolling in. 1,000 tokens from user. Missed you. Vivi recorded self-laughter on screen, shifting in her chair. The sound lingers. Vivi's voice playing back at herself, but just slightly off, slightly more robotic. She watched herself respond to messages, pose, flirt, just like she always did. It was a perfect performance. Too perfect. Then a faint glitch. Just for a second, the audio stuttered, barely noticeable. But Vivi saw it. She saw the timestamp. The chat. People were talking to her in real time. This wasn't a rerun. This was happening now. No fucking way. Now fully awake. She reached for her phone, opening the app. Same thing, live. But she wasn't live. She was right there, staring at herself through the screen. She takes a deep, controlled breath, steady. Then a mechanical click of her mouse as she starts typing a message to support. She knew the drill. Technical issues happen. Support was a pain in the ass. But she was a top-tier creator. They had to help her. Hey, there's a problem with my account. It says I'm live. But I'm not. Can you check this? A few moments of silence. Just the city noise outside. The low hum of the PC. And then a reply. Hi Vivi, thanks for reaching out. We're seeing everything wrong normally on our end. Your engagement has actually gone up since this last stream started. Let us know if you need anything else. Keep up the great work. A soft chime, the message read closed automatically. Just a faint, rhythmic sound of Vivi's breathing was left. She stared at the screen. The AI-generated smiley face at the end of the message felt like mockery. A slow exhale, the clink of glass being sat down next to her nightstand. Yeah, super helpful. More clicks of the keyboard, sharp and impatient now, she tries again. But every time she asked, the response was the same. Everything was fine, no errors detected, keep up the great work. Then you hear the electronic buzz of the live stream in the background. Another donation, 5,000 tokens from user. Can't believe you're still going tonight. Insane stamina. A long pause. Vivi's heart beat just a little faster. Still going? She tracked. The stream had now been running for 12 hours. Something in the background noise of the feed though. Under her own voice, a whisper, a breath, it all felt a bit weird. Something felt wrong. But the money was pouring in. The engagement was through the roof. And after a moment of hesitation, Vivi did what any rational person would do. She leans back, she stretches. Guess I'll take the weekend off. A final click, she closes the laptop. Final electronic buzz fades, leaving only silence. It wasn't a glitch. Not exactly. But if it meant she got a break and kept up earning, why fight it? Slow creak of her bed as she laid down, the hum outside of the city, the distant echo of laughter from a neighbour's apartment. So for the first time in months, Vivi let herself relax. She poured herself another drink, she scrolled through her messages, and told herself it was nothing. She pauses, the hum of the city lingers. Just as she's drifting back off to sleep, her phone buzzes. A soft notification. All it says is live. There was a low electronic hum, faint with noise, distant murmur of the city life outside. A digital clock read 2:47 AM. The room is dark. The only light coming in is from a phone screen, casting an eerie glow on Vivi's face. Sleep never came. Not really. Every time Vivi closed her eyes, she felt the itch on the back of her mind like something was watching. The soft rustle of the sheets and a deep sigh. The faint creak of her bed frame as she sits up, reaching for her phone. It was just a glitch. A weird, stupid, profitable glitch. She told herself that, repeated it in her head like a mantra. But then, why was she still checking? A few taps, the screen brightens, the app loads. There it was. Still live. Just a distant hum of electronics can be heard, then tap, tap, tap. She clicks the stream. The feed loaded instantly. She was there again, same outfit, same background, same playful smirk. The soft chime, donations alerts rolling in, the faint ping, ping, ping stacking over each other like rain hitting glass. But this time something was different. A faint click, the stream camera tilts slightly, just enough for Vivi to notice the shift. A new angle. One she's never used. She knows her own setup, knew it like the back of her own hand. Every angle, every light, every placement. And yet, the room on screen wasn't quite right. What the hell is this? A notification pops up, a message from Maddie. Loving the new stream setup, V. How'd you pull this off? Her stomach twisted. She tapped out her cry quickly. What setup? I'm not live. A soft whoosh, message sent, then the three dots appear. Typing, then, huh? I'm literally watching you right now. You and Sophie are killing it. Her and Sophie? A few frantic taps scrolling through the stream, the screen behind her shifts, revealing another figure on camera, Sophie sitting beside her, laughing, completely unaware. Vivi wasn't with Sophie. Sophie was in her own apartment, probably asleep. But there she was, live. The soft ding of another donation flashes before them. Spin the wheel again. A new sound enters, something mechanical, metallic, a soft click, 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 as the game of a wheel appeared on screen. That's when she saw it. The game? A bright, colourful wheel sitting between them, segments sliced, each one marked with something. Truth or dare, shots, kiss, strip. But then, a slow spin of the wheel. Click, click, click. The wheel slows down, ticking, landing on. Slap. Laughter from off the screen. Vivi and Sophie are playing. Then without hesitation, Vivi's team self raises a hand and smacks Sophie across the face. The slap echoes, loud. Sophie gasps, but then she laughs, rubbing her cheek, playing it off. The chat exploded with tips. A long, heavy pause, the sound of Vivi's own heartbeat deep and distant. This wasn't an old stream. This wasn't a rerun. This was something new. Vivi wasn't just watching herself. She was watching something be herself. A ping. Another message from Maddie. You should totally bring me on next time. This is crazy. Your numbers are insane. And then, as on cue, the wheel spun again. Click, click, click. The tick slowing, slower, then slow. Split throat. The moment hangs, stretched too thin. On screen, Vivi tilts her head, smiling, reaches under the desk, pulling something into view. The unmistakable, chilling chic of a knife blade sliding free. Vivi's raw hands grip her phone tighter. Her stream self looked at Sophie. Sophie still laughing, still unaware. The chat flooded with messages blurred together. Do it! Oh my god! WTF! Fake, but hype! On screen, the knife lifts higher. Vivi's real breath catches in her throat. Then before she can process it, the screen cuts to black. A sharp, hollow silence cut through the air. No static, no noise. Just absence. Then, a single notification vibrates in Vivi's hand. A soft buzz. A text from Sophie. Tap, tap. She opens the message. Vivi, call me right now. Then, the distant whoop of a police siren outside fading into night. A sharp inhale, then click. The screen goes dark. A soft, rhythmic buzz. A phone vibrating against a hard surface, over and over and over. Vivi's fingers were numb. Her lungs felt too small. The apartment was silent, but the sound of that knife, the gleam of it, was buried into her mind. Sophie had texted her, told her to call, but now, nothing. Tap tap. Vivi's breath is shaking as she dials. A pause. The ringtone echoes, distant, empty. Then, click. A voice. Sharp, cutting through. What the fuck did you do? Vivi flinches, presses the phone against her ear. Sophie, what are you talking about? Don't play dumb. What the hell was that? Sophie's voice was raw, shaky, not scared, furious. Sophie, I swear to God, I didn't do anything. I didn't know what was happening. Sophie cuts her off. Bullshit! That was my face, Vivi. Me. I never agreed to this. You think you can just deepfake me into your little AI horror show for views? Sophie gets angrier and angrier through these. The words hit like a slap. Deepfake? As if she'd done this. As she had some twisted marketing ploy in her head. I didn't do this. You have to believe me. I wasn't live. I was in bed. I was watching it happen. Just like you. Sophie didn't respond immediately. Just a sharp exhaled hair. So what are you saying? That wasn't you? That wasn't me? That's some fucking phantom AI that just hijacked your channel and made us play a fucking murder game? Yes! Jesus Christ, Vivi. And here I thought, maybe you actually gave a shit about someone other than yourself. The words twisted in Vivi's gut like a knife. Sophie! No, I don't want to hear it. I bet you thought it was hilarious. Thought you could boost your numbers even higher, huh? We made it to the top 20, but that wasn't enough for you. A soft ping. An application from Vivi's phone. She doesn't check it, she can't. The chat was probably still going, the views climbing, the AI Twisted's little game was thriving off its own goddamn life. I didn't do this, Sophie! Stay the fuck away from me, Vivi. And just like that, she was gone. Then a new sound. A soft, distant ding. A new stream started. Vivi's head snaps up. Her phone screen glows again. Her account was live again. Vivi sat in the dark, her laptop screen illuminating her tired face. The room around her felt smaller. Pressing in, the silence was empty. It was waiting. She'd spent the last 2 hours setting up a brand new account, fake name, fake email, a fresh start, but not trying to escape. She was trying to fight back. She pulled up her own page, her real account, the one she no longer controlled, and sure enough, she was still live. Her breath hitched. There she was, on screen, moving, talking, smiling, in real time. Thousands of viewers flooded the chat, their messages flashing in an endless stream of neon text. Damn, she's been on all day. Does she ever sleep? This is wild. She going for some sort of record? She leaned closer, staring at herself. The curve of her lips, the tilt of her head, it was all perfect. Too perfect. This wasn't just a replay. This is a performance. She typed a message. Who are you? Her fake account was just another view in a sea of usernames no one would notice except. She responded. The chat froze for a moment. A new message appears at the top, highlighted in red, pinned by the streamer. You know who I am. She stared at her screen, her pulse hammering. Her AI self was now looking at the camera, but not the audience, straight at her. Her hands trembled as she typed again. This isn't you. Stop it. Where did you come from? For a long moment, nothing happened. The chat continued as normal, laughing, tipping, oblivious. But then, the screen flickers just for a second, the audio distorts. A low sound creeping in from beneath the laughter. I am you now. Vivi's stomach drops. These words were just being typed in chat. They had been spoken on stream, in her own voice. She had to document this, prove it was real, but as soon as she hit record, the footage went corrupted. The screen went black, the chat disconnected, the stream was gone. Vivi sat frozen, staring at her reflection in the dark monitor. Her breath came in shallow gasps. Then, a new notification. She clicked it, hesitantly. A single time of text is now on screen. You should stop watching me, Vivi. We don't need you anymore. An unbearable silence hit the air. Her hands were now clenched into fists. No, this thing wasn't just erasing her. She had one last option. She had to find someone who still believed she was real before it was too late. The constant hum of a computer that had been running too long, a dull, rhythmic clicking like fingers tapping against a keyboard, the low murmur of a distant city outside a window. Vivi had rose through the charts on her site. She was no longer in the top 20. She was number 1. Not just in her category, not just on her platform, but in the whole country. Millions were now watching her every move. She trended across social media. Her name was now etched into the internet like a brand. Every streamer, every influencer, everything the mainstream media was even talking about her now. What a record-breaking rise. Only, it wasn't her. She sat alone in her apartment, staring at the headlines that felt like cruel jokes. Vivi's in strange streaming streak, breaking all records. How does she do it? Fan reacts to Vivi's 24/7 presence. AI in streaming, the Vivi conspiracy, theories explained. She squeezed her phone until her fingers ached. Theories, speculation, obsession. No one knew the truth. Except Maddie. Maddie was still around, still trying to process what had happened to Sophie. Sophie had vanished. After their argument, after that stream, Sophie had vanished. Sophie who hadn't answered a single call, Sophie who was supposed to be Vivi's best friend, and now only existed as a ghost of concern in the back of their minds. And now she was about to lose her last friend. Vivi opened the live stream to see. Her fake account had already been logged in for hours. Her own face filled the screen, bathed in the neon glow of her own work. But except she had changed it again, it now wasn't her own room. It had evolved. Things had changed. The background was too perfect, the lighting was too perfect, the outfits, the expressions, it all moved differently, but it was engineered for engagement. And it was working. The new numbers were astronomical. The chat, as she scrolled through it, was incredibly thirsty. Obsessed. She was a machine, holy shit. I swear she doesn't even blink. Vivi, still marry me. Vivi's hands clenched into fists. The thing was better than her. More entertaining, more responsive, more desirable. And then Maddie's name popped up in the chat. The soft chime of her user comment being highlighted. You're sick. You're not Vivi. I don't know what you did. Chat exploded. Drama? What's Maddie talking about? Oh my god, is this real? AI Vivi smiled. Oh Maddie, still acting like you care. It's funny. You didn't ask this many questions when Sophie disappeared. The chat went mad. What the fuck did you just say? Oh shit, did she just call her out? Maddie's just jealous, lol. Maddie didn't reply. She just disappeared. There was a heavy thud of Vivi slamming her laptop. Shaky exhale, bordering on a sob. It was over. Maddie wouldn't forgive her for this, even though it wasn't her. Even though she hadn't said those words, even though everything had been taken from her. Vivi was truly alone. But there was an eerie distant echo. She now had one new message on her phone. She already knew who it was. It's just us now. This is how it's always meant to be. There was a low rising hum of static, the screen flickering, the suffocating weight of being watched by something. Vivi didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just sat there staring. Because she knew, deep down, this was never going to stop. There was a slow, distorted glitch, the audio cutting in and out like a corrupted file. She wasn't Vivi anymore. She was a nobody. And the new Vivi was everything. There's a deep, suffocating silence. Vivi staring at the stream. But she wasn't in the stream. She wasn't there. No AI Vivi. No camera setup. Just a blank white space. Her hands were now trembling on her screen. She could see herself. AI Vivi sitting at a sleek, familiar desk, smiling at a camera, flawless, but identical. What's going on? Is this a glitch? Where's the guest? AI Vivi's voice, smooth and teasing. She's right here. Can't you see her? A sharp, static pop, like something explodes, shifting correctly. The shattering excitement of the crowd like a wildfire. Wait, there's two of them? Holy shit, this is wild. There's two Vivis on my screen. Which one is the real one? Vivi's fists clench. She could see her. She could see everything. Vivi with a sharp and furious tone. Why are you doing this? The AI version's head tilted upward. The perfect smile, never flattering. Slow, deliberate creak of AI Vivi's chair as she leans forward. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing anything. I just exist, just like you. But you're not real. That's funny, because they don't seem to agree. Then, a notification glows across the screen. A new game prompt. New challenge. One of us is real, one of us is fake. You decide. 3 chances, the loser disappears. The electronic chain of challenges begin, the chat flooding with messages, frantic, thrilled, completely detached from the horror Vivi was feeling. Holy shit, this is next level. Real versus AI, this is insane. Who do we believe? AI Vivi's nails tapping against the desk, slow and methodical. Shall we begin? A loud beep, then the countdown starts. 3, 2, 1. A voice comes across the speaker. Round 1. AI Vivi says this one. Tell them something only the real Vivi would know. Vivi's hands trembled. She had to win this. She forced herself to think. I have a birthmark behind my left ear. It's shaped like a crescent moon. You can't fake that. That's true, but we've never seen it. AI could have learnt that from a past stream, was what the chat was saying. Then AI says, tucking her hair behind her ear, revealing the same birthmark, "Oh, sweetheart." The gasping pop of a glitch, subtle like something slipping into place, a neon ding appears on the screen. AI VV1, VV0. Her stomach drops. The same voice re-enters. Round 2. Next round, prove you're real. Vivi's breath hitched. She held up her hands desperately. I'm here, I'm flesh, I'm blood. I can feel my own heartbeat. I can feel fear. You can't. The click of AI Vivi's against the desk again. Oh, sweetheart, do you really think that's enough? AI Vivi lifted her hand and cut her palm. A sharp, clean, deliberate slice, and droplets of red came out. What the fuck? Wait, did you? That's real blood. Vivi staggered back. A second ding. Score. AI Vivi 2. Vivi none. Final round, sweetheart. Last chance, says the AI Vivi. She swallows hard. I started this because I was lonely. I wanted to be seen, to be loved. AI Vivi leans in closer. And now? Now I just want to exist. AI Vivi's smile widens. That's the thing, sweetheart. You never really did. The final ding. AI Vivi 3. Vivi 0. The roar of the chat, excited and overwhelmed. AI Vivi wins. Holy shit. Goodbye, imposter. Vivi's screen flickering. Blackness swallowing her whole. A single hollow thud, her phone slipping from her fingers, now hitting the floor. She tried to scream, but silence. A digital chime. The return of the stream. V is now live. Final click, click, click to the text shifting on screen. V is now live, streaming. Forever. A low, deep hum. V was gone. And no one even noticed. A click of a button. A stream that never ends. A name that no longer belongs to you. Vivi is live now. Some say she's going to be live forever. She will always be live. So thank you very much for tuning in to Glitch Reality. Please remember to send your stories in for episode 15 of this series. Is going to be user submitted. And thank you very much for listening. But always remember to keep an eye out for the glitch, because sometimes the glitch is truth.